Thank you very much. So the induction we just did with the 4 snowflakes, is that how we should start in the future again?
Yes.
So how do we do any of the induction, or do we just go straight into 4 snowflakes?
So, in the future, to contact us,
Yes.
you can simply allow the breathing, and then from there, you can induce with the 4 snowflakes.
Yes. Okay, so is it kind of short and quick as I did it, or should it be stretched out?
No. So, you must allow her to take the breaths,
Yes.
and you must take the breaths with her.
Okay.
And it does not have to be 5 breaths.
Yes.
It can be more. And then she will be prompted to say, please initiate keyword.
Yes.
And once she has said that, we have already established connection. But for you to say it 4 times will take her to a place to step aside and just relax.
Very good. So is that what the reason you gave us that snowflake way in the beginning, like a year ago?
Yes.
To get to this kind of point?
Yes, because we are going to do much work together.
What does that mean?
That means it was no accident at all that she came to see you that day.
Yes. What was the purpose? What was the plan?
Because there is much work to do.
Can you share which kind of work?
Yes.
The
work that you are doing now.
Yes.
You call it channeling?
Yes.
Yes. But we call it communication.
Okay. And will that be in a hypnosis sense, or would it be, how would it be facilitated?
It would be in the sense that we just described, just to help her step aside and just become relaxed and trust and know. Because she has set the intention already this morning.
Yes.
She already asked us to take control of today.
Yes.
And this is why we said to you once before, let love be in charge of your day. And it will help you to know what to say, what to do, and where to go.
Yes. And what other plans do you have for us?
We would like you to share information with the world. It's going to help many people. There are many people doing this already, but we find it helpful to use many different sources.
And who are we speaking with today?
You're speaking with the higher self.
Yes.
We don't have no name.
So is it a collective higher self? You're saying you're working through others as well?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain that?
Yes, many people connect with us on a daily basis, but we need to help. We need to help people understand how to connect with us in every moment. Because with the shift, this is what needs to be accomplished. We want you to step into who you truly are. And this is us.
Yes. So how can people at home do this, what we just did today? To be able to channel?
All I need to do is be willing. But many people find this difficult as they see themselves separate.
Yes.
So there are many people who can do this, but there are also many people who can't and who does need help. And this is the purpose of our connection.
Yes.
Is to help people come back to themselves so they can connect with us in every moment.
Mm-hmm.
She has been listening very, very well in the past week or two, and she's been integrating this practice already.
Mm.
And it's almost as though she feels like she's shifted, but actually she has literally just come back to us or to herself.
Yes. So, is there any steps that you'd like to share with people that they could maybe connect themselves? You're saying it needs to be believable, so they need to set the intention and believe it, but what else can they do?
They need to find their breath.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is within the breath. It allows you to stop. It allows you to accept. And then it also allows you to take. And by taking, we mean it allows you to claim what is yours. And that is the belief in the end. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Okay, so it's going into the breath and believing that you're allowed to take what is already yours
Yes.
or who you already are.
The thing is, people always wait for something to happen.
Yes.
And that's not what they're supposed to do.
What are they supposed to do?
They're not supposed to wait for us for something to happen. They just need to allow it to happen. And in this allowance is the willingness, the acceptance, and then the belief. And it is very difficult for people to do this.
Why is that?
Because they believe they are separate.
Okay. But then how is it so easy for this vessel to do it?
She has done much work in past experiences
Mm-hmm.
that has brought her to this moment.
Are you talking about the walk-ins, or was it actual experiences, or?
She has had many experiences, but not necessarily on Earth. She has had many experiences on Earth many, many years ago.
Yes.
But she has had many different experiences in between. And then she's had also many preparation experiences for her before this lifetime, before she chose to come into this
Okay.
lifetime,
But
or
is it?
this walk-in experience, because she only walked in at the age of this body's 26.
Yes. But haven't most people had quite a lot of experiences elsewhere? Why can't they also connect or contact?
It's all about the belief in the end.
Okay. So why is hers different? She seemed to in the beginning not believe in herself, but she was still able to do it.
Hers is no different than anyone else's. She has just reached a point where she cannot not believe it anymore.
Yes.
Because
it's in her face.
yes, it's she's focused her attention on anything as possible, and she's truly believed that almost to 100%, like you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what anybody can do in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And she is just one of those who has actually believed this now. And
Yes.
there are many others who are believing it as well. But there are also many others who don't. But it's all within choice in the end. It's choice.
Yes. Is there anything else about how people might easier connect? So you're saying the breath, the intention, the choice, the believing. What else can they do?
They need to let go.
Mm.
Letting go is acceptance. It is moving into a space where you truly accept the fact that why not in the end? Why not just do it? Why not just go for it? It is a very, very difficult point to reach. It takes a lot of steps to get there. But it is literally you decide to take the step, and as you create, or as you walk up the steps, you can let the steps end whenever you like, but then they create another step and another step and another step because they just don't believe it just yet. But you can literally do anything you want. You can connect with anything that you want. It all comes down to belief. And everybody has various different kinds of beliefs. And that is acceptance of their beliefs too. Everybody takes their own path, walks their own road at their own time, at their own pace. And you need to accept that too.
Yes.
She has just accepted that she has taken the path.
Yes.
And she wants it. It's an insatiable desire.
Yes, it is. Okay, but people seem to struggle to meditate. It seems what you're describing is a sort of meditation. Why is it? Why can't people calm or quiet the conscious mind?
Because once again, just like you're doing this hypnosis, people think they must do something to get there.
Yes.
So going to sit down cross-legged, or holding the hands in a certain way, or taking a certain posture. In fact, meditation is within everything, and that is what they need to learn. They don't need to do anything to meditate. Meditate is in the moments where you do nothing. Meditation is in the moments where you do everything. Do you understand what we're saying? It's within the middle, within the neutrality, within that enjoyment of listening to a song. For some people, washing the dishes, staring out the window, taking a hike. That's where meditation is. It's not necessarily to go sit down and to go do something. Meditation happens spontaneously. Meditation happens where you find your joy, where you find your peace. And that is why people struggle, because they think they need to do something to get to it. But in actual fact, they don't need to do anything.
Okay, so they're just doing something that they enjoy, which makes them connect with their inner peace and inner being.
That's correct. Everybody feels it at some extent.
Yes.
Every day in their lives.
Yes.
And it is taking those moments that they feel it and making it their constant reality. Your whole day can be a meditation.
Yes. Music seems to be a good tool for connecting to your inner being. Why is that?
Yes, it's because energy flows and music creates that experience. It creates the flow and it kind of awakens a memory within everyone. And the people who listen to the music, they remember that flow, that complete harmony, balance and peace within the energy.
Yes.
And that's why they can connect to the frequency of the song as well. Is because they connect with that rhythm, with the flow, which is truly the energy in the end.
Yes. And why does Sufi music really inspire me? Is it some kind of past life thing, or is it just the kind of resonance of the sounds? It's so spiritual and high dimensional.
It is definitely multidimensional. If you think about it, anything that is creative is really multidimensional. It's connecting in the multidimensional aspect of who you are. Because if you connect within the multidimensional aspect of who you are connecting to that past experience that you've had with it.
Yes.
And then you're also bringing it into your now. And it's also within all the instrumentals, within the lyrics, within the voice. When you listen to a song and you connect with it, you do not just connect with the song, but you connect with every single instrument that gives off a frequency, which is energy. And you can feel it within your being. It can bring forward the multidimensional aspect of you. And then those memories as well. But truly it's the memory of who you are in the end, because it's the flow of energy.
Okay. Okay, so just getting back to the, you were saying you were going to work with us. How should we share this information? We kind of have a very small YouTube platform at the moment.
It's just the beginning.
Okay. Will it at least grow?
It will.
Can
Yes.
you tell me about that?
Everything starts small usually. Everything is a step. Everything grows. And all you need to do is continue what you're doing.
Yes. It takes a lot of effort, and I suppose I lose hope and get discouraged.
You should let go of the feeling of effort.
Yes.
You do this very well with your manifestation every day.
What do you
Everything that you want comes to you effortlessly.
To me specifically?
Yes.
Yes. No, I know.
So apply this to everything in your life.
Yes.
Apply this to your channel. Apply this to whatever you need to accomplish, all your desires, all your wants.
Okay.
You can simply just say, everything that I want comes to me without any effort.
That sounds familiar.
Yes, we've shared this before. And this has helped this vessel very, very much
I
as
don't know
well.
why. It's such a basic concept.
Because everything is simple and
Yes.
everything is basic in the end.
Okay. Okay, so is there any other way we should share this information?
You're already doing what you're supposed to be doing. And at some point it will reach the appropriate people as well. And those people will help accomplish what needs to be accomplished. And will be sharing this information as it is supposed to be shared.
Okay.
There's nothing you need to worry about.
Okay.
Just allow it. Allow it to grow.
Okay, very good. And is there anything other work you're going to do with us, or any information about that?
Yes. You need to connect like this more often. And you will also be connecting like this for more people individually.
Are you talking about surrogate sessions?
Yes, you call it surrogate sessions, but we call it communication.
Okay.
Just establishing the communication for the people.
Yes.
As you know, like we have discussed already, that some people find it quite difficult to connect.
Yes.
You can use this vessel to connect for them.
Yes. People seem to be a little bit afraid of that. I've had some people contact me and I've suggested it, but they don't want to do it. They want to have their own sessions. But I suppose it's up to the individual, right?
Yes, of course. It's always more profound when it's your own experience.
Exactly. Yeah. And just to confirm something with the surrogate sessions, it's not possible for us to heal someone, right? That would have to be someone physically coming in themselves, right?
No, that is not correct. If they want to do healing, if they need to do healing, if they choose for healing, it would be their choice. We would merely just be establishing the connection through this vessel, and we will be doing the healing along with them through this vessel. So yes, it is completely possible for them to receive healing.
Like an instantaneous healing just through a session like this, if they allow it, right?
If they allow the choice.
Okay.
Yes. But they need to make the choice completely for it to occur.
Yes.
If the choice is not complete, we will know that, and we will then apply the healing appropriately. That would be believable for them.
Yeah. Do I have permission just to ask some of my own questions, or I suppose both of ours, kind of mix of questions?
Yes.
Okay, so I keep on getting information in my sessions that I need to teach people how to integrate divine, feminine, and masculine aspects. I don't really know how to do that, but I suppose I could ask you.
Yes.
Because it seems, just to kind of clarify further, it seems that most men and women are, their divine masculine is very pronounced, or not divine, just masculine is pronounced, and the feminine is recessive, I suppose, because because of the patriarchy, but we're moving towards more of like an exaltation of the divine feminine. So how do we integrate these aspects?
It all comes down to choice once again.
Mm-hmm.
So the divine feminine and the divine masculine, if we can put it into an image for you, think of the image of a yin yang.
Mm.
So the black is in the white and the white is in the black. It is through your choice what you choose to have more pronounced, the bigger black or the smaller black, or the bigger white or the smaller white.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a line where they all come together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's integrating both. So by integrating the divine feminine and the divine masculine is by accepting both. It's by accepting that both is within you and that nothing is stronger nor weaker than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing them together as one into that neutral aspect, into that fine line where they join together. Because within that line, that is where the light shines through. So it is acceptance of having both. So sometimes you might experience a stronger feminine aspect. Sometimes you might experience a stronger masculine aspect. When you experience this, it's kind of like an imbalance, if you can call it that.
Mm.
So you would like to bring the two into harmony. And the way you can do that is by accepting that the one is weaker and the other one is stronger. And by accepting that, the other one will become stronger then, and the other one will become weaker then. But then you still have the imbalance. So you need to bring them together. You need to accept both of them, and that both of them are equally strong, and both of them are equally weak. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, I suppose it has to do with that neutrality you were talking about from the beginning, right?
Yes, you need to accept that you are the light in the end.
Okay. And
You are the darkness, because the darkness was created from the light.
Mm-hmm.
And you are the light, because the light outshines the darkness.
Mm.
You are just light. All of you are just light. You are just love. When you are not within the dual aspect of experiencing, you are non-dual. And in the non-dual aspect of you, there are no images. There is just sharing, joining, and there is oneness, which is love and light.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it is hard to accept for people to find this balance, but it is accepting both that
Yes.
will bring you into harmony.
And then to accept both, is it a kind of visualization? These, I suppose, visualizing the feminine and the masculine, and then imagining the integration of the two.
Yes, visualization is always helpful because you operate within images.
Mm. And that's the act of creation, isn't it? It happens in the visual center or the creative center.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you can create a visualization that works for you.
Mm.
I know this vessel whenever she likes to integrate two aspects of herself, she views the painting like we've spoken about before.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sees the cracks within the painting. So think about it. If you want to compare the divine feminine and the divine masculine within the painting, the divine feminine can be the actual picture.
Mm-hmm.
The divine masculine can be the cracks, or vice versa.
Mm.
But then, when you shine a light from behind it, They are actually all within the light. Does that
Yes.
make sense to you?
Yes, that's a beautiful visualization.
So you can literally create your own visualization that works best for you in the end.
Yes.
And you may use this visualization we just gave to you.
Yes. Can you maybe just explain balance as well? I kept on, we keep on getting information. Balances, I suppose, the exaltation of one aspect, and I suppose the diminishment of another. But for me, balance is integration, right? It's like you said, not even noticing the difference between the
There is no
polarities.
diminishing of anything.
Yes.
There is no denial of anything. There is also no forcing out of anything. Like many people think they need to get rid of something. You can't get rid of anything because everything is energy in the end. So integration or balance is bringing it all together and accepting it as one.
Yes.
So balance equals harmony.
Yes.
Harmony equals balance. And integration equals harmony. Integration equals balance.
Yes.
Do you see what we mean?
Yes.
You must bring it together, because when you bring it together, you accept that it is all within you.
Okay. So what is the purpose of coming to this world of polarities and only to realize that there are no polarities?
That is the question, isn't it? So if you are non-dual, why would you not want to experience a dual aspect of yourself?
Yes.
And then go through thousands and thousands of experiences to bring you back to your non-duality.
Yes.
It's creation. That's what it is. It's having fun. It's experiencing every aspect of what you are.
Yes.
Whether it is dark or light.
Okay. But it seems like the universe is pushing more for non-dual at the moment. Is that correct? Because duality seems to have created quite a lot of conflict and violence.
No, that is not correct.
Okay.
The universe is not pushing for non-duality. The universe is just pushing to remind you that that is what you are. It still means that you can experience whatever you like. So there is no good and there is no bad. There is literally just joy. And there is just peace. And you learn this through your experiences. Because if you go through your dual experience where you do not have any joy, the only way you can remember it is by not having it. Does that make sense to you? Do you need us to elaborate?
No, it does make sense. I don't understand. We come here to have a non-dual experience, but now we're striving for unity. It just seems a bit like an oxymoron or a paradox. Why didn't we not just experience the non-duality for what it is?
Because once you're in non-duality, you would like to experience duality.
Okay.
It is creation. It is experiencing whatever you can imagine. Because in that non-dual aspect, when you fell into your duality, that was the imagination then. When you come back to your non-dual aspect again, who knows what you're going to fall into next?
Yes.
Who knows what you will experience next?
Okay. It's about expansion and growth.
It is about expansion and growth coming back to yourself.
Okay.
Yes. It's about having fun. Yes, it does not always seem like fun when you're in it. Mm-hmm. But that is when you learn how to get out of it.
Yes. Okay. Because anything else about divine feminine, masculine?
No, it is like any other opposite. You need to integrate both. And integration means acceptance.
Yes. Okay. Okay, and the next question I keep on having coming through in my sessions is opening the heart. How can we do that? And why is it important?
So come back to that visualization we gave you about the painting. Mm-hmm. The light that shines through, that is opening the heart. That is bringing out the heart energy, because everything that the heart represents is what your true inheritance is. And your true inheritance is non-duality. What would exist in non-duality? Have you ever asked that question? What would exist in non-duality? When there is no dual aspect of anything, then it is only the one that you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what your inheritance is, which is love, which is joy, peace, abundance, wholeness. So the non-dual aspect of what you are, the best way we can sum it up for you is in the word unconditional. When you bring unconditional to your focus, think about unconditional love. That does not have an opposite, does it?
Mm-mm.
So that is integration of opening the heart center, is living and representing what you are. So if you live within your heart center, that is representing your inheritance. That is choosing joy. That is choosing peace. That is choosing love. That is choosing wholeness, which is acceptance of what you truly are.
Okay. But are you then not denying the opposite of yourself again?
No, you are not denying the opposite of what you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because by getting to that opening your heart or moving into that non-dual aspect, is you have to accept both to get there.
Okay. So it's a process, the integration
Yes.
first and then the opening of the heart
Yes,
next.
that is correct.
Okay. Part of the steps.
Yes.
Okay. So is there anything else about practically opening the heart? You're saying to live in the love and the peace and the joy, but anything else practically people can do?
Once again, this is why it is so important to find your breath.
Mm.
And whenever you find yourself in a situation, to find your breath. Because within that breath, that is where you will find that you stop, you look, you see, you accept, and then you integrate.
Mm.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else about the heart? You're saying it's part of your what did you say? It's part of your heritage, or it's your
Inheritance.
Inheritance. What does that mean?
That means you are divine love. You are non-duality. So that is your inheritance. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
You're moving into the true aspect of what you are.
Okay. Okay, can you maybe talk about emotions? What are emotions?
You have heard this many times.
Yes.
Emotions are energy in motion.
Yes, I say that all the time.
Yes. And
Okay.
you are so right when you say that.
Mm-hmm.
So like we said, everything is energy in the end. Everything is always just energy. So when the emotion comes up, whether it is like you say, positive or a negative emotion, it is just the energy moving in that motion, which is at the vibrational frequency of that emotion, which could either be a slow vibration or a fast vibration, or as you say, a low vibration or a high vibration. So when you are within, say, the emotion of anger, you're in a slow vibration of that frequency, but at a high rate. Does that make sense to you? The reason we say at a high rate is because you're feeling it.
Mm.
You're feeling it truly in that sense. And this is why we say you need to feel the emotions, because that will cause the energy to remain in motion. So it can move through the experience.
Okay.
And then be recreated.
But you're saying it's energy in motion, but what is the origin of that energy? Where does it come from?
it comes from your non-dual understanding or belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are non-dual and you fall into a dual experience, you have to remember it contains absolutely everything from one aspect to the next. We're just trying to scan her vocabulary again
Yes.
find.
Is her vocabulary extensive enough?
Yes, she has been expanding her vocabulary very much.
Good.
In the last few months.
I know her Afrikaans vocabulary also is expanding a little bit.
Yes, because of you.
Yes.
She does enjoy it very much.
Yes, it's like learning a new language, but it's
Yes.
your own language.
So, we have scanned for the word and we found a polarity. So, when you fall into your dual experience, you have to remember the dual aspect of everything in motion that becomes in motion has a polarity to each side. So when you experience, say, anger into its extent of its polarity, it is a low frequency, but it vibrates very highly in the most furthest aspect of its polarity. Does that make sense to you?
It's a little bit of a paradox or an oxymoron for me. It's kind of like the term you spoke about last time, high frequency negative beings.
Yes.
Can you explain that? People are very confused about this.
All right. So as we say, when you feel anger, it's a low frequency, but it vibrates at a very high rate.
Okay. So it has a lot of charge, even though it's dense.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the correct word. Charge.
Okay.
It's charged very highly at its low frequency. And this is what we meant with the high frequency negative energy beings. They're literally at the most, if you can call it, if we can put it in an image for you, at the edge of the cliff of that polarity. So it's a very low vibration, but they're vibrating very highly into it.
Okay.
If that makes sense to you.
Very, very angry.
Yes. And that will create many different experiences within that field of vibration as well. Is this clear to you now?
Yes, it does make sense now.
All right.
Okay, but we will talk about that a bit later. Is there anything else about the emotions? How we can manage them better? You're saying it's just feeling the energy in motion, allowing it to move through.
Yes.
I have been applying this technique the last couple of weeks. It has helped in some aspects not. Do you know why I might still be struggling?
Yes, because you're still holding on to it.
I feel like I'm not. How am I doing that?
Yes, you are learning
Okay.
to let it go entirely.
Okay.
It is a process.
Okay.
So, when we go through these emotions, it is very like unknown territory, if you can call it like that. Feeling it, letting it vibrate at that low frequency at a very high rate, if you can call it that. And when it does vibrate at a very high rate, we do tend to hold on to it still.
Yes.
And there will still be some remnants of it.
Okay.
So just be patient with yourself.
But
it is a learning process.
How can I flush that? I thought I was actually trapped in ego or in the dense energies for quite a while. How can you saying let it go? How can I flush that? How can people also help flush
by
themselves?
Connecting to your heart center, opening your heart, like we just said. We can also assist with this today, if you like.
Yes, please. Can you help for both of us?
Yes.
What are you doing?
So we are sending almost like a column of light coming into the top of your crown. And we're sending it all the way down. It is stuck within your solar plexus chakra, this energy. So we are sending it down, but as we are sending it down, we're also clearing all the other chakras for you.
Yes, thank you.
And then within the solar plexus, so think about stirring a cup of tea. When you added sugar to your tea, we are just putting that back into motion for you, like that stir.
Fabulous.
All right. And then we are clearing it for you now.
So then you're just kind of flushing that, like literally like a drain.
Yes.
Okay.
So think of a vortex.
Okay.
And it draining down.
Yes.
We want you to visualize that now.
Mm.
Think of a vortex.
Yes.
That forms when you take out a plug.
Yes.
All right, so visualize that in your mind. And just let it run out. Let it run through. And you know, as the water runs out, when you watch your bath run out.
Yes.
Sometimes you take your hand and you scoop the water towards the drain as well.
Yes.
So imagine that.
Yes.
Getting every drop and just letting it all out.
Yeah, that's a fabulous visualization.
Letting it all go. And what the last thing that you can do to let go of it completely is visualize a towel and then drying out the bath.
Yes. Perfect.
So that there's nothing left.
So you can actually do that when you're having a physical bath, can't you?
Absolutely.
I think I'm already doing it.
Yes.
And I'm already visualizing this column. I keep on seeing that column coming into my head.
Yes. Continue doing that.
Okay.
And whenever you feel there is some energy still stuck and you believe consciously but you are letting it go, just remember there's always some remnants left. Just take that towel again and then wipe it out.
Yes. Okay.
All
Beautiful. Right. Thank you. Okay, so is there anything about the ego? It seems like the ego, even though I don't want to resist the ego, I'm a big proponent of the ego. Of course, it's us. We need to integrate that aspect of ourselves. But it seems like the ego comes and rains on the parade and spoils the party a lot of the time. So how can we actually train the ego instead of doing spiritual training like we're always doing? Should we not be focusing on training the ego into ultimate integration?
All right, so there is a way that you can help the ego. It's not about training the ego. The ego is like, imagine there are two adults having a conversation. And you are at a gathering, like something that you call a braai. And you're a bunch of friends together, having a lovely time together. Some of the friends have children. And as you are talking and having a wonderful conversation, say with your glass of wine, and just having a good time, you might have this little child coming up to one of the mummies and saying, and interrupting, saying, "Mommy, Mommy," but you are having a conversation with one of the adults. Now think of a gentle way you can help that child. You can simply say to it, "Dear, we are just having a conversation. May we finish, please? I will be with you in a moment." And you will see that child, if you speak to it in a way with loving and gentle emotions, it will simply stand next to you and maybe hold your hand until you have finished your conversation. So this is a visualization that you can give to your clients within your pre-talk section.
Yes.
And they can simply visualize that within their session, and we will assist as well.
Yes. Beautiful.
With the communication. And it is not about training the ego. It's about just acknowledging it's there, just like you just acknowledged that child, and saying to it gently, just give us a moment. I will be with you now. And something else you can do is visualize something that makes it happy.
Mm.
Some people like to take walks, say with their dogs, have the ego or that little child imagine doing that.
Is that not more like the inner child work? Because I know the ego lacks attention.
Yes, it is all integrated together. So we would like you to visualize the ego as your inner child.
So it's the same thing. It's not separate.
Nothing is separate.
Okay. But I had the impression it was ego, higher self, and inner child, the kind of holy, I suppose, trinity within you.
We all stand next to each other.
Okay.
It is just through choice who speaks.
Mm.
So if you allow your clients that visualization before their session, they can simply visualize that during their session.
Yes.
And yes, there will be some clients who go back and forth, and that is appropriate for them.
Mm.
You need to accept that for them.
Yes.
And they will accept that for themselves as well.
Is there anything else about the ego?
No, just become friends with it.
Okay. So it's your ally, it's not your enemy.
Yes, it is part of what you are, part of your experience here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how best can we prepare, or can people prepare for the remainder of 2021?
Like we said in the previous session, come back to yourself.
Yes.
Feel the feelings.
Yes.
Go through the emotions.
Okay.
There's going to be many negativity coming up
Yes.
in the next few months.
It's already,
Yes. But you who are aware of what this negativity truly is, work on yourselves. It is not out there that you need to work on. It is inside of you that you need to work on.
Mm. So it's the war, from my perspective, it's the war between the ego and the higher self. Is that correct?
No, it's not the war between the ego and the higher self.
Mm-hmm.
It is the war of not integrating them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It is either choosing one or the other.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with choosing one or the other, but then you are going to suffer.
Mm.
But it is about integration and bringing it all together as one. Recognizing and accepting
Yes.
that the dark is you, and that you are the dark, and that you are the light, and that you and the light is you.
Yes. Okay. Okay, and we can apply those previous steps you were talking about.
Yes.
Okay, just getting back to the high frequency negative beings, people were quite interested in what that was. So you explained previously it was just it was a low density with a very high charge. Who are these negative beings or high frequency negative beings that you were talking about?
These beings that are in your reality choose to remain behind the scenes.
Okay.
So they are not necessarily visible within your experience. But shining the light onto the darkness within yourself will eventually reveal who they are. It doesn't matter who they are in the end either. You have to realize that the war is not out there. It's within all of us. And integrating within all of us and everybody taking that responsibility will eventually create the external peace.
Mm-hmm.
So we do not wish to speak about the high frequency negative entities
Mm-hmm.
because they remain behind the scenes as we speak right now.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they have many pawns that they control on the forefront. But as everybody realizes that this is what they call the second coming in the end. This is returning to your Christ consciousness, which is the crystalline consciousness within you. And this is where the peace is created. The peace is not created out there. Yes, there will be things manifesting out there, like say maybe you would be prompted to go do a march for freedom or go take part in that. But still, it remains within all of us to take self-responsibility, to integrate and accept that the dark is within you, and so is the light. And that the dark was truly created from the light in the end.
What do you mean if we shine the light on our dark aspects, they will be revealed?
Yes, so everyone needs to come back to self. This is how you are shifting. It is not about taking, say, some sort of action on the external to reveal who they are or who they control in front of them. It is about shining the light on the darkness within you. And this will create the external experience of that happening.
Okay.
Yes.
So as within, so without.
Exactly.
Okay, but I'm interested why you do not want to talk about that. Or you don't want us to focus on that. You want us to focus internally. Is that correct?
Yes, because when you focus internally, it will reveal it externally.
I see. Okay.
But it will take a lot of people to do that in the end.
Yes. And are we winning?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If the darkness was created from the light, how can you not?
Okay. Okay, and then what about, can you maybe just talk about crystalline consciousness? I keep on having this affirmation, I am Christ consciousness, or I am the light of Christ. I don't know where that's coming from.
It comes from us.
Okay, so
We are sending it to you.
Can you talk about that?
Yes. It's the truth. It's the truth of what you are.
Yes.
It's about accepting the light within every dark moment you experience. And we have given you that affirmation to remind you when you do end up within a low vibrational, high frequency emotional experience,
Yes.
to say that to yourself. And it will help
Yes.
to create the flow of this emotional energy so that it can run and be released into the light.
Yes.
So that you can choose for what you choose to experience.
And what is crystalline consciousness? Why crystal? Oh, Christ, crystal, yes.
So there are many words for this.
Okay.
Just like there are many words for God, or the light, or love. Crystalline is a good representation or expression of it because it's clear. If you think of crystalline, what comes up in your mind?
Yeah, it's a crystal clear structure.
Clarity,
yes.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
And what lies within clarity but your true inheritance?
Okay.
So it's simply just a word, but it's a word that contains the energy that brings forth many aspects within you, which is the true aspect within you.
Okay.
If that makes sense to you.
Yes. Does it have anything to do with the Ascended Master?
Yes, of course it does.
Okay.
That is what they've entered into when they ascended. And this is what many people are going to and busy entering into as they are ascending into their Christ consciousness, or their crystalline consciousness, or their ascended selves. It's accepting and integrating both polarities in the end.
Yes. Okay, just getting into the kind of South Africa is in a kind of now very tight lockdown again. it seems the conditions here are quite harsh compared to the other countries. Why is it so strict here?
When you find yourselves within a place you don't want to be in, what is the next step for you to get out of it? Is to climb out of it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So South Africa has a very, very dense energy. So does the rest of Africa as
Yes.
well. So many of these lockdowns are happening here over and over and over again because the lessons are not being learned. So because of this dense collective energy that resides within this, say, area, if you want to call it that, if you want to step out of step into the truth, which many, many, many people want to do within this area, if you want to call it that, within this dense energy, because within this dense energy there are many light energies as well, or people who are on the verge of choosing for that lighter energy. So if you are going to deny the darkness within you, don't you think it is going to show up for you? And this is exactly why why it is happening within this area.
So people are denying their darkness.
They are not integrating the two aspects of what they are. So there are many, many people who choose to experience to continue within the third dimension within this area.
Yes.
But there are also quite a few within between that is not choosing for that. And the only way those ones can be woken up, who are on this verge, or who are busy with the ascension process, place themselves within darkness so that they can step out of it.
So are you saying people should be at home so that they could do some more contemplation, introspection?
Exactly. They are creating it for themselves.
Okay.
So they can create the time for themselves to find themselves within themselves.
Okay. Because it seemed like we were returning to the kind of rat race very soon before this lockdown.
Yes. It became such a norm once again.
Yes.
Yes.
Is this not happening in other countries as well? Why is it only here?
Yes, it does happen in other countries as well. But some of the energies are just much lighter in those countries. So it just doesn't seem to be coming forth as so strict.
Yes.
But there are many other playouts that are happening in those countries. The playout here is just another lockdown.
Yes. But how do the governments know this? Or is this kind of like a collective subconscious kind of movement? Or how does it work?
If there are many people operating or focusing on the low frequency, high polarity, negative emotions or energies in motions, obviously those who thrive within those frequencies are going to act within those frequencies as well.
Okay.
And then create many things that, people see as inconvenient or uncomfortable to a sense.
Yes.
You have to be uncomfortable to realize that you can choose for comfortability.
Okay. So those people act in fear then, and then they place these kinds of restrictions on others and on themselves.
They do not necessarily act in fear, but they act on fear. They thrive on it because it is where their frequencies are operating. Okay. And they feel projected onto others.
And that's why everyone's kind of sick now again.
Yes.
I mean, emotionally, physically.
Yes. Because if you are going to continue to repeat the same sentence over and over again for someone, eventually they will believe it.
Yes. Okay. Okay, and is there anything else about it? Feels just people losing their jobs, not working. We feel quite sorry for them.
We ask you not to be concerned with other people's paths.
Mm.
Whatever they are experiencing is within their choices.
Yes.
We want you to focus on yourself. If that that person experiencing losing their job, then they are experiencing what they are choosing for within their belief, within the lack mentality, or within losing. So we urge you to not worry about what other people choose on their paths, because they will also become aware of their choice eventually as they go on their paths. But rather focus on yourselves. It is not selfish to do so, but rather just accept that darkness within them, which is truly within you in the end.
Mm.
So we would once again want to emphasize coming back to yourselves. This is not an external war. It's an internal denial of what you are, which is the dark and the light. And once you integrate both of them, you will come to realize that there is only light.
Okay. Okay, and what about this alcohol ban? I don't know why alcohol always gets thrown into the mix, and sometimes cigarettes. Where is that? What's the origin of that?
It is, like we said, they thrive on these emotions such as fear,
Okay.
manipulation, guilt,
Control,
greed. So what are they? What would cause this thriving within their projections is taking away what people enjoy, what people find maybe to relax themselves.
Yes, comforting.
Yes, but obviously those are energies that can also operate within the opposite polarity, if you believe it to. So some people might not see it as an enjoyment, but as a crutch or as a form of control for themselves and a form of escape in the end. And this is not what they want them to accomplish. They want them to be in a position where they feel they have no choice. But once again, when you are in a position where you have no choice, you come to realize that you do have a choice. And this is what the whole external play out is trying to teach people. It is a collective purge at the end. Because once you sit in this uncomfortability as you go through it, that is the realization of choosing being comfortable in the end. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's just a control mechanism at the end of the day.
Yes,
but also
it's
it's
internal within everyone.
Yes.
If I can explain it in that way.
Yes, because it's beneficial. It's actually just pushing people to awaken.
To wake up.
Yes. Okay. So it's kind of like self defeats itself almost.
Yes.
Okay.
It's beautiful in the end.
Yes. Okay. So it's all perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so but you were talking about they, the suppression, control, manipulation, fear, greed. Who are they?
So when we say they, you have to remember there is a collective of them as well.
Okay.
As we are a collective of what you are.
Can you explain?
So the higher self is a collective of every single being that exists. All into one. And this is why we refer to ourselves as us or we. But then again, so within, so without. So go to the other end of the polarity, which is the external projection of the high frequency negative entities that we were talking about.
Yes.
That is where they thrive, and that is who they are.
Is that the collective lower self or collective ego?
So you can call it the collective shadow, if you like.
Yes.
So that shadow is within you, and within this vessel, and within everyone else. But as you and as this vessel choose to shine your focus on what you truly are, where would you truly be then? Within the collective higher self.
Okay.
That's the direction that you are moving into.
Okay.
So the light is just shining brighter on this side, where it is just not shining as bright on the other side, if we can say it that, but it's still the light.
Yes. But why sometimes I've actually had channeling sessions where people are channeling the collective shadow. How does that happen? In hypnosis.
Yes, that is belief once again.
Okay.
So if you're going to believe in a demon, you're going to create one.
Okay.
And then you're going to be able to give that demon a personality as well.
Okay, like a thought form.
Yes, and an energy and an entity.
Okay.
And collectively, this also exists within everyone. So it's very possible to take on, say, a channeling of a lower vibrational entity that someone else might have created, because it's all collective in the end. But still, it's all in your belief. Once you raise your frequencies and your vibrations, you come to realize, almost to a sense, if we can say it in this way, which is in her vocabulary, oh my gosh, why would I do that? If that makes sense to you.
Yes. But how do we not get fearful if, I suppose, those kinds of things happen in our sessions?
Well, it still comes back to you then. What are you fearful about? But yourself in the end.
Yeah, I suppose the unknown, right?
Yes. So whenever this does occur, just remember to call on us, and remember where you are and what you are and what they are too. And then this can't scare you at all.
Okay.
Something can literally, like, imagine the worst image in front of you can happen, and you will literally have no reaction to it, because you would know, oh, it's just that imagination of mine.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Is that kind of similar with attachments?
Yes, it's all
Okay.
beliefs.
And how do we deal with attachments in hypnosis?
If someone has the belief in an attachment in one of your sessions, then you can always ask them during the session, is this something that you want to experience in your reality? You'll find most people will say no. And then you can say, do you want to release this energy today? And if they say yes, then ask us to let it go for them, and we will.
Okay.
It's just belief in the end.
But some people don't really even know what attachments are, and then it kind of comes out.
Yes, it's just a shadow aspect of them that is coming up for them, and then they project it externally and make it separate to them.
Okay.
But truly, it's just an aspect of what they have within them, and then choose to believe something is being done to them, say. But truly, nothing is being done to you. You're doing it all.
Okay. Okay, is there anything else about South Africa's lockdown conditions?
No.
Okay, and just coming back to, or just talking about physical appearances, how can we not judge our physical appearances. People still struggling with weight, struggling with what they look like on camera.
Yes. When physical appearances come up, when that experience comes up for you, it is literally just forgetting what you are. It is forgetting that you are love, you are light, you are spirit, and that this is just a temporary experience for you, but you create it as a permanent experience for you, and then see it as, then you kind of fall into that reality and then become it once again, which is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the way you can, like you say, cope with it is once again integrating the egoic experience, or the physical, which is the ego in the end, the physical experience that you are having, with your spiritual experience. It's integrating both once again. So practical steps that you can take to do this is see your body and simply say to it that you love it. And then visualize a light being. Some people can visualize an angel, whatever works for them. And then allow that visualization to envelop the body. And allow that light to integrate within that experience. And as you go along, you will discover that you will let go of these thoughts of self-esteem, self-worth, gradually, to a point where you would be comfortable with yourself. And you'll be comfortable to enjoy what you want to enjoy as well. So it's bringing up that memory constantly of thinking this is permanent for you. Like when you eat food, or when you look at yourself on a camera, that creates that experience. You said brings that up in you, but that just brings about an opportunity for you to just visualize, say to yourself, I love you, and then envelop yourself with light, and then move on again. Just visualize that as often as you can within these moments that you experience where you don't feel comfortable with yourself.
Yes.
And then you will start integrating the two together, which will become an image then of having a light being and having a body next to each other, holding hands.
Beautiful. So if I do that, can I eat as many donuts as I want?
You can always eat as many donuts as you want.
But I'm feeling the guilt, and then I feel it, allow the feeling to come in and I allow it to flush out, but I'm still not working.
Continue with the visualizations. You have to remember that this emotion of guilt, shame, uncomfortable feelings, it's very, very deep within your belief. Very, very deep within your belief. And it takes time, and it is a process for you to integrate the belief that you are comfortable, not to feel guilty, and just enjoy it in that moment for what it is. Because in that moment, you will then find that one donut is enough. Because you are having that experience and you're enjoying it fully, to its full extent.
Okay. Anything else about appearance?
No.
Okay, is there anything about these electrical shocks that we keep on getting?
Yes. It's us.
Okay, but they seem to be sporadic. When do they?
We're just helping your body to adjust to the new frequencies. We're helping you to integrate the new choices.
Okay.
And it is about raising your frequency.
Okay. Okay, so we're kind of getting to the end now. We have some more questions, but I'm getting a bit tired, and I think so is this one. Do you have any is any questions I could have asked that I didn't ask?
No, we are complete for today.
Okay.
Yes.
Any last messages for her today?
Yes. She needs to continue what she is doing. We are so happy that she has started to integrate the trust aspect that we presented to her.
Yes.
It is so good that she listened to us on Friday and took some time for herself. We do know that she enjoys the spontaneous events because there is no thought that goes into it. There is no ego. There is no child nagging. So she is doing very well, listening to us and moving through this process, just as we said when you asked in a previous session, to help her with this transition, to go through it with ease and grace. She is allowing that effortlessness, that ease,
She is.
that everything to fall in place. And we are very happy to work with you, and there's still much to come.
Any last messages for me today?
Yes, you just need to continue what you're doing. Just learn the patience. It's going to mean the world to you, if we can call it like that.
Yes.
That is your biggest lesson to come through now, but you are already doing very well at it.
Okay.
So just integrate that within your everyday, every moment that you remember, and you will see everything will go exactly as it is supposed to. You will get exactly what you want because you do believe it already.
Yes. Okay, is there anything else today? Anything for humanity?
No.
Are we complete? Are we complete today?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your contact and your communication.